prior to Game 3 of this Eastern Conference semifinal series, Jackson Wilson and several other of his teammates had been battling flu-like symptoms. It's all made it to Milwaukee, and they're trying their best to build on this 2-0 series lead against what should be a determined Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks. Here we go. Welcome to another presentation of Ladder of Light Gaming. I'm your host, Axon Jackson Wilson. This is the first of two stream playoffs. We're off to a 6-0 start, trying to make it 7 in a row. And then later tonight, we will be Also, before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that Jesus Christ loves you. If you haven't made him your Lord and Savior, I pray that you do so now, because all other ways lead to destruction. The wages of your sin was an eternal punishment in hell, and it was death, but we can be spared from it because of what Jesus did on the cross and resurrecting from the grave. The Milwaukee Bucks will get the first possession of game number 3. The Charlotte Hornets, after taking care of business in 4 consecutive home games, are back on the road here in Wisconsin. And Miles Turner commits what could be a costly turnover in terms of setting the tone. And as you can see, LaMelo Ball's got that health symbol. So does Wilson, Sexton, and the rest of his teammates. So our overalls are probably going to be affected. The question is, how will that impact our play? Colin Sexton gives it to Wilson for the mid-range, and he's right on point from 20 feet out. Jackson Wilson gets the first points on the board for the Hornets. Up ahead it goes to Miles Turner, and Miles Turner will lay it up and in. So after the Charlotte Hornets walked off the Bucks, both those games are up, along with all the other contests that I have shared on this channel. Everything is raw, unedited, and saved for your entertainment here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Colin Sexton, who is back in the starting lineup, misses the triple, but Wilson gets the offensive rebound and hits LaMelo Ball for the 3. 5-2 Hornets, as Jackson Wilson has got 2 points, a rebound, and an assist on the board. A minute and a half in. Here is Giannis. Wilson's going to switch the matchup. Giannis with the drive. Wilson is right there on him. We had a game plan to deny Giannis in the paint and leave him outside on the arc, and it's working once again to perfection so far. Wilson is right on point. Colin Sexton, unfortunately, is not from the right corner. He misses that wide open 3, and the score remains 5-2 Charlotte, as Kyle Kuzma gets the ball outside and they leave it for Giannis. Giannis with the drive on Wilson. He's able to convert the layup. Giannis not a fan of taking the jump shot. He went 0 for 9 from 3 last game. It'll be interesting to see how he adjusts in front of his hometown fans. Here are some screens for Pat Connaughton. Wilson gives it to him, and now Ball to a cutting Wilson for the flush. Even though the Hornets have been battling a couple of bugs, sickness bugs, if you will, they're still playing hard, and they're playing with a lot of resiliency. They lead 7-4 over the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis Antetokounmpo has now missed 10 consecutive threes dating back to last game. That shot was way too strong. Pass gets deflected by Taurean Prince on the Hornets' next trip down the floor, but Charlotte will keep possession, looking to add on to an early 7-4 lead. Here's Wilson off a screen. Wilson being guarded tightly by Turner. He'll get a pick and fade going with Bridges. Here's the screen. Outside for Bridges. Bridges with 10 to shoot. Wilson pops out, takes the triple. No good. Good closeout by Miles Turner. Bucks on the board with Giannis. Wilson leaving Giannis wide open beyond the arc again. Giannis will go to the off-ball screen. Here is Kuzma. He's got the 2 from 20 feet out. Wilson will run the point guard position. Here we go, the floppy base for LaMelo Ball. Wilson isolating, out to Ball. He takes the 3 and misses. It goes in and out. The Bucks rebound, and they have an opportunity to take the lead. Here comes Giannis on the break. Wilson will switch the matchup. He's right there on Giannis, and the Greek Freak comes up short. Here is Connaughton. Lobs it inside for Bridges. Bridges to a cutting Wilson, and he gets fouled by Giannis. Giannis thought he had the block. He's pleading his case with the officials, but he was a little bit too late. That's what good ball movement will do, even to the greatest superstars. Giannis is definitely one of the greatest to play the game. But Jackson Wilson and the Charlotte Hornets doing whatever they can to get in his head and throw him off mentally. Charlotte going for its third consecutive win in this conference semifinal. Wilson, as he did last game, comes up short on the first free throw. That's now 3 missed free throws for Wilson in this series after only missing 1 in 4 games against the Pacers. Wilson comes up empty, he's 0 for 2. Back come the Bucks with Prince. He crosses over. Wilson leaves Giannis on an island. Here is Turner. Turner backs up. And now he'll get the offense set up with 10 on the shot clock. 6 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Giannis looking to set an off-ball screen. It doesn't work. Kuzma fakes. Kuzma goes for the tough 3. It's no good. Off the hand of Giannis, and he kicks it out to Cole Anthony. A tough bounce right there for the Hornets. Anthony with the drive. Finds Giannis in the corner, but he can't sink the triple. Rebound by Wilson. Up ahead it goes to Ball. Ball off the missed steal. Out to Connaughton. Wide open 3. No good. Rebound by the Bucks. 5.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter as Kuzma hits Turner for the go-ahead dunk. 8-7 Bucks. We're just getting rolling here in Game 3. Glad you're with us here on Ladder of Light Gaming. If you're just tuning in, I'm your host, Axon Jackson Wilson, with more NBA 2K26. Be sure to stay tuned if you are here live, as we will have back-to-back live streams for you here on this Sunday. Following this presentation of NBA 2K26, we've got our next group gameplay with me, Jacob Vintage Bates, and several special guests. So like, comment, and subscribe. More exciting content is on the way. For those of you that are returning or a loyal subscriber, we thank you for your support. And let's take a look at the league leaders here of the postseason. Wilson leading in points, and he is the ultimate reason why the Hornets are in this position. Here is Colin Sexton in the corner. He finds Wilson outside. Wilson bounces it into Ball. Wilson trying to slip past Turner, and he does. That had to be a perfect pass from LaMelo Ball to thread that needle, and it was just that. Back and forth we go here in Milwaukee. It's 9-8 Hornets over the Bucks, and here is Giannis Antetokounmpo giving it to Kuzma. Kuzma outside. Kuzma driving in on Concanipple, who just checked in for the Hornets. Here is Giannis trying to break the cold streak from downtown. He can't do it. Giannis has now missed 12 consecutive triples. This defensive game plan is working to perfection for Wilson, but however, the Bucks pick up a steal. Wilson gets back and sends Cole Anthony's layup into the ground, into the corner. Knipple for 3. No good. Rebound by the Bucks. Here is Prince. Prince crossing over. Wilson picks up Giannis. Turner with the dunk. The game of ping pong continues here in Milwaukee. It's 10-9 in favor of the Bucks. Wilson with the fadeaway over Turner. It's no good. Rebound Milwaukee. Here comes Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma driving. Kuzma sees an open Giannis, but he elects to take the jump shot himself. Maybe Giannis' teammates are starting to lose confidence in him from that three-point arc as Bridges drives inside. Wilson again beating Miles Turner to the punch off the ball. And a perfect pass once again by Wilson's teammates to set him up. Check out the 360 dunk. Also, it's worth mentioning, I apologize, I may not be as energetic as I usually am. I'm dealing with some voice hoarseness right now. I'm not sick, but it's kind of like my MyPlayer's going through right now. There's a little bug going around, and I'm just passing through. You know, I'm in good hands. My Lord and Savior will protect me, so you guys don't have to worry about me. The show must go on as Ball kicks it outside for Wilson, and he answers back with a triple at the top of the key. 14-13 Hornets. Wilson now 1 for 2 from that range. Here comes Giannis looking to drive on Wilson. His layup is good. Wilson was ready for him. He had his hands up on the left block, but Giannis doing everything in his power to get the Bucks back in this series. And with 2 minutes and 56 seconds remaining here in the first quarter, the Hornets will take a timeout. There's a look at Giannis fist bumping his right-hand man, Miles Turner. They've been a great big man tandem ever since Miles Turner took his talents to Milwaukee. But the Bucks definitely have their hands full against this Hornets team that has all the momentum on its side right now. Here is Wilson looking to link up with his rookie teammate Con Knipple. Knipple coming off a screen. Knipple puts up a contested three, no good, and Giannis with the rebound. Giannis brings the ball up for the Bucks. Wilson will switch the matchup again. Giannis with the drive, and he gets the layup to fall. Giannis Antetokounmpo, off to a hot start here in game number 3, and he goes into evil goat mode with a 17-14 lead. Bucks looking to push. Wilson set up the offense here on a pick and fade. Can't lose his man, so now he gives it to Knipple. Wilson screens for Knipple. Wilson getting past Turner, he pump fakes. Wraps it around to Williams, out to Man. Man to a cutting Wilson, but the ball gets stolen by Giannis. Up ahead Rollins, Bucks extend their lead. 19-14 Milwaukee. The Charlotte Hornets struggling here in the last couple of minutes. They're dealing with a stomach bug, and they may be feeling the effects of it here tonight. Wilson's going to go right back at Miles Turner. Wilson into the post, drop stepping and dunking it. Jackson Wilson reduces the gap back to 3. Great job of getting quality position against Miles Turner. Wilson backs up, he's ready for Giannis. Giannis with the up fake. Giannis, tough leaner, no good. Wilson with the rebound. Up ahead it goes to Brandon Miller. Miller kicks it to Knipple. Wilson pass fakes. Giannis has his hand down, but Wilson can't make him pay for it. Wilson misses the jumper, and back comes Giannis. Wilson's able to stop the break, and now Porter Jr. drives in on Knipple. Porter Jr. to Kuzma. Back to Porter. Three-pointer from straight away, no good. Wilson with the rebound. Up ahead to Trey Mann. Mann outside for Wilson. There's a pick and fade with Williams. Wilson gets it to him. Here's the 3-ball. No good for Williams. Offensive rebound. Out to Knipple for the tie. No. Another offensive rebound. But Wilson comes up short. Knocks it out of the hands of Giannis. But the Bucks is able to keep possession. Here's a cut. And the missed layup. Wilson with another rebound. He's now got 11 points here in the opening quarter. Uh-oh, we got a mismatch. Wilson going up on 2 Milwaukee Buck players for the dunk. That double team wasn't going to help, especially with it being initiated by 2 guards. Wilson reduces the gap to 1. Giannis with another miss from downtown. And Wilson elects to slow it down. Wilson gives it to Brandon Miller, and he'll come with the screen left side. Outside for Williams, into the corner for Mann. Wilson against Kuzma. Double team comes. Wilson to Miller. He pump fakes. Knipple at the buzzer. Oh, he got fouled. Con Knipple draws the shooting foul, and he's going to go to the line for 3 free throws. That's not good for the Bucks, especially with a good free throw shooter like Knipple. He's able to convert on the first, and now here comes Plumlee. He will take the place of Grant Williams. Knipple could put the Hornets back on top in what has been a great game 3 thus far, back and forth. Con Knipple is able to make the second, trying to go 3 for 3 and make this a 21-19 game with 2 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. The shot looks good, and it is. Great job by Con Knipple. The inbound goes to Porter. Wilson contests the full court heave, and it's no good. So despite the flu bug and the stomach bug that's been going around, the Charlotte Hornets made a vow that they were going to play today. Jackson Wilson not letting any circumstance getting in his way. If we're going to lose, let's lose with our best. I don't care if we're 100% or not. 21-19 Hornets on the road here in Milwaukee as Charlotte looks to continue this magical run. For those of you that aren't aware, we play on Hall of Fame. This is NBA 2K26 MyCareer, hosted by yours truly, Jackson Wilson, and we'll take a seat on the bench. Now, Wilson's not even sitting. He's on his feet. He's looking to stay loose. And if you want good basketball, you tuned into the right game. Back and forth we go. Milwaukee 31, Charlotte 30, with 5:16 to go here in the second quarter. Here's the inbound to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wilson will make him his defensive matchup. Wilson's going to go with the paint defense and let Giannis shoot for 3. It's no good. Rebound by Wilson. Swings it to Sexton. Here's Knipple. Tried to lob it inside to Williams, but the ball got stolen by Porter. Giannis outside for Prince. Back to Giannis. Giannis backs out. He'll reset the offense. Giannis with the drive. Wilson with great defense to close it out. He's still there. Not biting on any of Giannis's fakes, and he gets him to miss. Rebound by the Bucks, or rather the Hornets. Into the corner for Wilson. He's got a mismatch with Kuzma. Here he goes. The double team doesn't come, so Wilson's going to keep exploiting the mismatch. Layup, good. Wilson hitting him with a flurry of drop steps, a flurry of floaters, layups, and jumpers. He's got 17 points and 14 rebounds in what would probably be considered the flu game of this generation, as Giannis Antetokounmpo makes Wilson pay for playing too high. The ball goes into Ball, and he'll bring it down the floor and use a Wilson screen. Here's Wilson. The lob inside for Ball. Ball fakes, and Ball gets a layup of his own. The Bucks go up one. The Hornets take the 1-point lead. Back and forth we go here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. The Fizzer Forum, home of the 2021 NBA champion Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis flushes it over Wilson. Back comes Ball. Throws it to Wilson. Wilson isolating Portis. He's going to take the three off the dribble. If you sag off, your swag's off. Jackson Wilson with his second three-pointer of the night. 37-35 Hornets over the Bucks. Portis outside for Kuzma. Kuzma guarded by Knipple. The Bucks load the left side, and now Kuzma trying to drive on Sexton, and he ties the game up. 37-37. Look at that game summary. 14 lead changes and 3 ties. It's been a memorable game 3 up to this point as Wilson screens for Ball. Ball goes back to Ball. Ball will isolate. Ball driving on Anthony, and he outmuscles him to the cup for 2 more. Great job by LaMelo Ball here in the second quarter, following suit to Wilson's leadership. And now Antetokounmpo and the Bucks will talk it over with their head coach, Doc Rivers, who's trying to avoid an 0-3 series deficit and an elimination game this early in the series, which would take place tomorrow night if the Milwaukee Bucks can't handle business this evening. Charlotte 39, Milwaukee 37. The series score is Charlotte 2, Milwaukee 0. The Hornets had home court advantage in this second round. They handled their business, and now it's on the Bucks to counterattack. Because rumor has it that it's deer hunting season here in Milwaukee, and the Hornets are on the prowl. They've got their stingers out looking for prey. Here's Kyle Kuzma. Kuzma picks up his dribble. Giannis left wide open for 3, and he misses again. Giannis just cannot buy a bucket from downtown. Ball, however, can. He hits the 3 off of Wilson's second assist. 42-37, Charlotte Hornets on top. Here's a cutting Giannis. Giannis with the slam. Even when you see him coming, Giannis Antetokounmpo is a handful to defend in the paint. That's why Wilson drew up the game plan to keep him out of there as early and often as possible. Wilson goes back to work on Kuzma. They better make that switch because Wilson has given Kuzma way too much to handle right now. 22 points and 15 rebounds for Wilson in what has been another impressive first half. Wilson, despite battling flu-like symptoms, he's been all over the place here tonight. Giannis again with a missed 3. He can't stop the bleeding. Here come the Hornets with a chance to extend the lead. Wilson pass fakes and draws the reach-in foul against Kyle Kuzma. Great job by Wilson to protect the rock there, being swarmed by 2 defenders. Now goes to Wilson. Wilson's going to isolate and swing it out to Sexton. Wilson off a screen. Here is Sexton. The cut's not there, so Sexton will isolate and give it to Williams. Knipple for 3. No good. Giannis with the rebound. Here comes Kuzma. Kuzma with a tough layup. He's got it. The Bucks not going away. They're down by 3 with a minute to go here in the first half as LaMelo Ball will give it to Wilson. Wilson to Williams. And now Wilson. Cut to the left block. Here he is. Wilson gets position. Spinning. Layup. No good. Great defense by Turner. Here come the Bucks on the fast break with Giannis. Giannis tried to kick it to Anthony, nearly threw a turnover, but Anthony was able to save the loose ball and get 2 points on the tough jump shot. 44-43. Hornets looking to push again. Here they come with Wilson against Turner. Wilson has not been afraid of Turner, and this is why. Miles Turner, not as strong as he used to be, and Jackson Wilson is just getting started. He is conditioned. He is ready. He's fearless, willing to do whatever it takes to lead this Hornets team to a victory. Giannis continues to sell the bucks from downtown. He just can't buy a bucket. Wilson with a nice pass to Williams, and they kick it back out. Wilson with the final seconds. Wilson's going to take the three over the smaller guard. No good. Rebound by Antetokounmpo, and he'll dribble it out. He'll chuck it up. It's not going to count. And that's going to take us to the halftime locker room. Yours truly, battling some voice hoarseness, and my player battling flu-like symptoms. But we're still here. We're determined not just to show up, but show out. And we got a 3-point lead over the Milwaukee Bucks, 46-43. We'll be back for the second half. Let's say hello to Ernie Johnson, Kenny Smith, and Shaquille O'Neal with our NBA playoff update. As you can see, the Hornets are trying to become the third of the 4 teams with a series lead to make it 3 consecutive wins here in the second round. They currently lead by 3 at the half. Jackson Wilson once again playing a clean game. As we take a look at our overall scores, the Cavaliers with a big win in Atlanta to go up 2-1 against the Hawks. The Mavericks and the Timberwolves are looking to complete sweeps. Timberwolves trying to do it against the defending champion Thunder. And the Mavericks with rookie Cooper Flagg trying to get to the Western Conference Finals for the first time since 2011. Correct that. I forgot about when they had Luka Doncic. They went to the NBA Finals in 2024. Forget my lack of NBA knowledge there. But other than that, that was the Mavericks' only other conference final appearance with the exception of 2003. Man, I remember 2011, the year that Dallas won their franchise's lone championship under the leadership of Dirk Nowitzki. Boy, he was definitely something. Jackson Wilson trying to show those same type of shades as a franchise cornerstone for the Charlotte Hornets. It's not about the money. It's not about a super team. It's about putting a city on your back and doing whatever it takes to lead them to the title. And Jackson Wilson, even though he's got flu-like symptoms on Hall of Fame, he's got the Hornets battling here on the road in Game 3 at Milwaukee. I want to welcome the 3 new viewers into Ladder of Light Gaming, as LaMelo Ball can't sink that from 10 feet out. Here comes Giannis Antetokounmpo. Wilson backs up and cuts off Antetokounmpo on the drive. And now Anthony. Anthony comes off a screen. Giannis trying to set up on the right block against Wilson, and they get it to him. Antetokounmpo goes up for the tough layup. No good. Wilson remaining sturdy and stingy down there, making Antetokounmpo earn every single point. Bridges with the dunk for the Charlotte Hornets. What a pass by Colin Sexton to the paint. 48-43 Hornets on top here in game number 3, as Anthony once again looks for Giannis, but he leaves it for Prince. Giannis in the corner. Wilson will leave him there. Here's a cutting Turner. They double him up. Turner trying to get free. Takes a wild shot, and Wilson with the rebound. Up ahead, they push to Sexton. Sexton to Wilson. Wilson for 3. No good. Great closeout by Turner. Rebound by the Bucks. Miles Turner on the fast break. Wilson gets back to defend him. Turner kicks to Kuzma. Kuzma can't hit the jump shot. Rebound by Wilson. That's going to be his 20th board of the night. Here is Ball outside for Wilson. Hornets work the perimeter with Bridges. Bridges with the drive into Ball. Ball is patient, but Ball can't get the finish. Back come the Bucks with Kuzma. Kuzma to Anthony. Anthony drives. Miles Turner tried to cut, but Wilson was right there on him. Here is Kuzma with the pass fake. Kuzma outside Turner. Turner for 3. Got it. Miles Turner from the corner, and the Bucks are back within 2. Here's a fast break for Wilson. Calls for a floppy for Pat Connaughton from the corner. Here comes Pat Connaughton. the sharpshooter out of Notre Dame. Wilson swings at the ball. Ball off a screen. Wilson loses Anthony. Now Ball with the Euro, but it's rejected by Miles Turner. Back come the Bucks with Turner. Wilson switches the matchup to Giannis Antetokounmpo. Turner outside for Kuzma. Kuzma to Giannis. Giannis to Prince. Prince into Turner. Wilson comes with a double team and picks up Kyle Kuzma. Giannis for three, no good. Rebound by Bridges. Here comes Connaughton. Connaughton looking for Wilson, but it's not there. So Ball will take it and now give it to Wilson now. Here's the screen by Bridges. It's a good one. Wilson to Bridges. Bridges outside for Ball. Ball isolating. Wilson crashes the board in case he needs it. Ball shoots. Wilson swimming around Giannis, but Antetokounmpo is there to get the rebound. 48-46. Anthony for three. Yep. And the Bucks retake the lead. 49-48. The pump of the fist by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Timeout, Charlotte Hornets. 6:56 to go here in the third quarter. The Milwaukee Bucks showing a lot of fight despite being down 0-2 in this best-of-7 Eastern Conference semifinal. Wilson again will run the point guard position. And he will call for a screen. Wilson facing Miles Turner in the paint. Wilson spinning, drop step, gets the layup, the fall. 26 points for Jackson Wilson, 18 of those coming in the paint. And the Hornets regain a 50-49 edge. Here is Kuzma. Giannis left alone for three. It's been the case the last two games as Turner drives to the lane and converts the 2 points. 51-50, Bucks over the Hornets. Here is Trey Mann giving it to Wilson. Wilson saw a man on the cut but didn't trust it. And now Wilson, as Mann kicks it to Wilson for three. Yes, sir! Wilson on the pick and pop from downtown. The fake screen and then the flick of the wrists. 53-51, Charlotte. Kyle Kuzma swings it back to Cole Anthony. Here is Giannis. He'll try to answer and break out of his funk from three, but he cannot. Wilson with the rebound, and he'll give it to Miller. Miller crossing over back to Wilson. Wilson gets the offense set up. Diabate clears out, and Wilson will give it to Trey Mann. Mann off a screen. He attacks, but he's blocked by Miles Turner. Back comes Anthony. Giannis for two. Can't get the bounce. The shooting struggles continue for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Here is Mann off a Wilson screen. Here is Wilson giving it to Miller. And now we'll call a floppy for Miller. Miller, who just returned from his injury in game two, trying to get back on track. He takes the long-range bomb. No good, but Wilson cleans up again. Wilson with the putback. He's now got 23 rebounds and 31 points. Thriving in the playoff spotlight. 55-51. Hornets over the Bucks. Antetokounmpo with the drive, and he gets by Wilson. Giannis with 16 points. Wilson was kind of playing off him there because he thought he was going to dish it off. But Giannis was able to clear the lane. Another pick and pop. Wilson for the mid-range. No good. Rebound by the Bucks. Trying to tie or take the lead. Giannis with the drive. Great defense by Diabate and Wilson. Here is Miller on the break. Miller off a screen from Wilson. Miller outside for Wilson, and the Hornets will set it up. Wilson back to Brandon Miller. 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Here's the screen. Miller for three. No good. Rebound by the Bucks. Trailing 55-53. Kuzma. As Wilson sticks Giannis once again. Cole Anthony outside, off a screen. Looking for the lob, but instead he's got to take the jumper because Wilson was right there on Antetokounmpo. Wilson trying to get past Antetokounmpo. Here he goes. Wilson fearlessly going right into the chest of the Greek freak. And he hammers it home. Just like the last round, whenever Jackson Wilson's got the step on somebody, he'll go at him. He didn't care if it was Antetokounmpo. Wilson's been putting in work in the gym, and it's showing here tonight. 4-point lead for the Hornets. 57-53 over the Bucks with 3:36 to go here in the third quarter of Game 3. I'd like to remind you guys we have another live stream coming up. If you're tuning in at this current moment, If not, and you're viewing it after the fact, the video should be up by now. So be sure to check out our next group gameplay featuring me, Jacob Bates, and multiple special guests. Like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate everybody's support. And don't forget, most importantly, we want to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ. We all deserve God's wrath and hell for the punishment for our sins, but Jesus Christ came to the world to save us from that so we can be made new and spend eternity in heaven, which is what being in a better place is all about. Without Jesus, there is no better place. This isn't to scare anybody. It's just to wake people up. All right, back to the action. 57-53 as Jackson Wilson gets ready to come back onto the floor. He's had another strong performance on the road, 33 points and 24 rebounds as Giannis Antetokounmpo will take a seat on the bench. So now Anthony with the drive. He'll kick it out to Kyle Kuzma. He can't get the three to go. Wilson with the rebound. He swings it up ahead to Brandon Miller. Wilson being guarded by Bobby Portis, so he's going to go right at him. Wilson. We thought he was going to drop step. Wilson's going to take the fade away. No good. Bobby Portis with the rebound. Here come the Bucks. Anthony. Trying to lose man off a screen, but man sticks to him like glue. Now Anthony out to Turner. Wilson right there on him. Here is Kuzma with 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Kuzma fades over Knipple. No good. Rebound by Brandon Miller of the Charlotte Hornets. Up ahead it goes to Wilson. Wilson will work the perimeter. He gives it to Knipple. Knipple off a screen. Plumlee to come to help. And now Wilson rolls. Here is Miller trying to make something happen with 1 on the clock. He does! Brandon Miller with the tough layup. I see we got 2 viewers right now. Welcome to Ladder of Light Gaming. I'm your host, Jackson Wilson, with NBA 2K26 MyCareer Hall of Fame. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals against the Milwaukee Bucks for the Charlotte Hornets and yours truly. A 7-1 all-around center. 5 seconds remaining on the shot clock as Anthony takes a tough shot and he drills it from downtown. Less than 2 minutes to go here in the third. 59-56 as Wilson calls for a screen and fade for Knipple. Wilson kicks it out to him. Knipple to the corner for Miller. No! Rebound by the Bucks. Prince to Anthony. Anthony. Outside Turner. Prince. Picked up by Knipple for the tie. It's good for Cole Anthony. 59-59 as Jackson Wilson brings it up with 1:18 to go in the third. Wilson to the cup for 2. Great take right there. Wilson showing he can dribble a little bit as well. Channeling his inner Nikola Jokic. And he's now got 35 points. There was literally nobody in sight. That paint was like a red carpet. Wilson could just waltz right down the middle for 2. And he puts the Hornets back on top, 61-59. Back and forth we go here in Game 3 on the road. The Bucks fighting for their playoff lives, trailing the Charlotte Hornets 2-0. Wilson and the Hornets, on the other hand, trying to put a stranglehold on the Greek Freak and the Milwaukee Bucks, who are coming in off of an NBA championship just 4 seasons ago. Giannis Antetokounmpo checks back in for Milwaukee, and so Wilson will go back to his normal paint defense. In it goes to Giannis. Giannis with the drive, and he gets the layup to go over Wilson. Great position by Wilson, but it still wasn't enough to stop the Greek Freak. That's now 16 assists tonight for the Milwaukee Bucks. As Bridges kicks it to Wilson in the corner. The hand is down. Wilson for 3 in the lead. No good. Rebound by Antetokounmpo. Antetokounmpo with the drive. Wilson with the swat. Bridges with the rebound. Up ahead, Wilson to a cutting Plumlee for the finish. Mason Plumlee for 2. Hornets back in the lead, 63-61. Wilson turning defense into offense. And he goes back to the paint. Porter left alone for 3, but he misses. Wilson with the rebound, and the Hornets will take their time, even though Bridges is calling for the ball. Wilson sees he's got a guard on him, so you know what's going to happen here. We either go up for the shot or we exploit the double team. Here comes Wilson. Oh, he made him pick up his dribble. Give me that back. 5 seconds to shoot. Here he comes. Here's a double. The kick out. Man for three at the buzzer. No good. Good rotation by the Milwaukee Bucks. And that'll take us to the fourth quarter. I think next time I'm just going to take that up. I don't care if I get stripped. Can we do it again, ladies and gentlemen? 10 minutes to go. This is still anybody's game. The Hornets trying to take complete control of this Eastern Conference semifinal and set up another potential sweep tomorrow night as they lead the Bucks 63-61. Thanks to that bucket from Miles Plumlee. So here we go. Everybody on their feet, waving their towels here in Milwaukee as we take a look at our assist of the game. Jackson Wilson off the block, running the fast break in perfect harmony with Miles Plumlee. And the Bucks will get the first possession, trying to tie or take the lead. Giannis is on the floor with Rollins, who is at the point guard position. Rollins gets a screen from Bobby Portis. Here is Rollins. Rollins driving inside. Wilson comes over to help. Giannis has not been a threat from the three, so Wilson will leave him alone and stick with Rollins. Giannis for three. It's no good. Giannis is 0 for his last 16 from downtown. And now we got a mismatch. Wilson to the post. Doesn't care about the double team, but he can't get the layup for two. That was just enough defense to bother that layup attempt, and Giannis ties the game. 63-63, and that is the sixth tie to go along with 18 lead changes here in game number 3 between the Hornets and the Bucks. Wilson on the wraparound. He's wide open for three. No good. Bucks with the rebound. Here is Rollins. Rollins out to Giannis. Giannis for three in the lead. No. Wilson the rebound. Up ahead is Wilson. He hits Bridges. Bridges for three. No. Wilson cleans up. Wilson with the slam. Man, we just have not been able to capitalize on wide open shots tonight. But Wilson doing whatever it takes, whether it's crashing the offensive boards, getting putbacks, or playing solid defense. 65-63. He's battling the flu and the Bucks here tonight, as you can tell by the medical symbol. The attributes are slightly down, but it has not impacted Wilson. He remains focused on the task at hand. Kind of makes you think of Michael Jordan putting his life on the line for his teammates when he played for the Chicago Bulls in the 1997 NBA Finals. Here's another mismatch. Here comes Wilson into the paint. Kicks it out to Sexton. Sexton to Bridges. We got mismatches all over this court. Wilson gets another pickup. Kicks it out to Bridges. Bridges for three. Got it! Finally, Miles Bridges is able to capitalize on a wide open three that was created by Wilson off the double team. 4 assists tonight for Wilson, 68-63. Hornets over the Bucks. Now Wilson will play a little bit closer just in case Giannis makes a three in this situation. He's due for a make. I'd rather us give up a 2 in this situation. Great defense right there. Wilson secures his 30th board and leaves it for LaMelo Ball. 7:25 to go. Wilson pass fake, picks up his dribble, and now he tries to hit a cutting ball. He gets it to him. Ball is patient, and he scores. Wilson with assist number 5 here in game 3. And it's 70-63. Hornets with 7 minutes to go. Can the Hornets take a 3-0 lead for the second consecutive series? This time against the much tougher Milwaukee Bucks. Wilson continues to crash the boards, business as usual. He's got a guard on him as he brings it up. Here we go. The crowd chants defense. Wilson's going to go right at the smaller guards. The double team doesn't come, so Wilson will try to take care of the rest, but he misses. Green on the rebound. Portis through the middle. Here is Green into Portis. Wilson gets back on defense and picks up his 32nd rebound. Bridges on the break. Wilson slipping. Bridges fades and scores. Miles Bridges bridging the gap for the Charlotte Hornets on the road. It's 72-63 as we got 2 new viewers. Welcome to Ladder of Light Gaming with Jackson Wilson, Hall of Fame 2K26 MyCareer. Rebound by Wilson up ahead. It goes to Sexton. Sexton drives. They kick it out to Wilson. They shouldn't be in any rush with the clock on their side. Perfect time for a floppy. Let's do it with Ball. 8 seconds remaining on the clock. Here is Ball popping out. Ball fakes on the 3. Wilson crashing the boards. Fighting for position with Giannis. Giannis gets the rebound this time. 5:35 to go. Giannis through the middle. Wilson is right there, but Giannis is still somehow able to carve his way to the basket for 2 big points. What a game for the Charlotte Hornets as they try to seal the deal and make it 7 consecutive victories to open the NBA playoffs. A team that started out with no expectations. Nobody thought they'd be going anywhere. They didn't think Jackson Wilson would survive in the NBA, much less become a Rookie of the Year and MVP. But now he's not only become that, he's becoming a leader of a potential heavyweight that is capturing the hearts of NBA fans everywhere, including the ones outside of Charlotte and the Carolinas. 72-65 is our score. 5.5 minutes to go. Jackson Wilson battling flu-like symptoms. And yours truly is also going through some voice hoarseness. But that's not stopping me from bringing you guys content here on Ladder of Light Gaming. We have another live stream coming up after this with our next group gameplay. Be sure to stick around for that. If you're tuning into this after the fact, it should be posted, so be sure to check it out. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys. You'll have to like, comment, and subscribe to find out what it is. Here is Ball with a nice shot off a Wilson assist. He's now got 6 dimes on the night, and the Hornets are back up 9, 74-65. The Milwaukee Bucks going cold once again on offense in the second half, and that's a big reason right there. Giannis Antetokounmpo's inability to score in any other way beside the paint. The Hornets have been able to throw something at him to match him strength-wise, and now he's nowhere to be found on defense. Jackson Wilson is in his head. He looks lost. And the Milwaukee Bucks look like they are just shell-shocked. Flu-like symptoms not holding this Hornets team back as Giannis Antetokounmpo sets a screen for Cole Anthony. Wilson comes over to help on Anthony. The lob to Giannis. Giannis now with 24 points as we approach the final 4 minutes of this game 3. 76-67 Hornets over the Bucks. 4:13 to go as Jackson Wilson gives it to LaMelo. Hornets are not in any rush. Ball with the drive. Wilson trying to lose Turner. Pump fakes, gets inside. He's got to go up with it. It's no good. Rebound by Miles Turner. Tough animation right there. Back come the Bucks. We're under 4 minutes to play. Cole Anthony with the crossover and the layup for 2. 76-69. In it goes to LaMelo Ball. Here is Ball. He gives it to Wilson. Wilson will call his own play. It's going to be quick isolation. Everybody clears out as Wilson gets to work on Miles Turner. He frees up Bridges. Bridges from downtown. No good. Giannis with the rebound. 4:24 left to play. Wilson again playing halfway on Giannis. Here's a screen by Cole Anthony. 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock as Kyle Kuzma attacks for the dunk. 76-71 as the Milwaukee Bucks look to make a comeback down the stretch and repay the Hornets for the 12-point comeback they made in Game 1. Here is Wilson doing a pick and fade with Pat Connaughton. It frees up Wilson. Wilson in the post against Turner. He's got him! Jackson Wilson with a big bucket to stop the bleeding. He's now got 39 points here tonight and 34 rebounds on 56% from the floor. Giannis with the answer. 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go. The clock is still on the Hornets' side. They're not in any rush. Wilson gets a floppy going for Colin Sexton. Sexton has been very valuable for the Hornets in this playoff run. He gets the ball in the corner. Sexton getting in position, gives Connaughton the shot. No good. Rebound by Turner. 2 minutes to go. Giannis Antetokounmpo outside. Wilson picks him up on the drive. He cuts him off. Hop step. Still doesn't phase Giannis. It's down to a 3-point game. 78-75. Wilson again with the ball in his hands. Wilson swings it up top to Bridges. Wilson with the cut. He gets blocked by Turner. And the Hornets will keep possession. What a rejection by Turner. That was a great pass by Ball. And with 1 minute and 42 seconds to go and 10 seconds remaining on the shot clock, Wilson's going to talk things over with his teammates. 1:42 left. The Charlotte Hornets trying to hang on to a late lead and take a 3-0 series lead in this Eastern Conference semifinal. On the inbound, it's Connaughton. He hits Wilson. Wilson posting up on Turner again. Wilson spinning. Wilson up and under. It's blocked. Good defense by Turner. Prince. As Wilson switches the matchup with Giannis. Out to Turner for the tie. No good. Wilson with the rebound. And he'll give it to Ball. Ball up ahead. Here's Wilson. Facing Giannis. He'll slow it down. Backs out and gives it back to Ball. Here's the screen. LaMelo. Up and in. LaMelo Ball with the clutch layup. 80-75 Charlotte. 1 minute to go. Anthony to Kuzma. Kuzma gets double teamed, but still is able to convert the layup with 55 seconds left. Ball gives it back to Wilson again. Wilson's played a lot of time here tonight despite battling flu-like symptoms, but he's putting the life on the line for his team. LaMelo Ball, who just hit a big bucket, so Wilson's going to go to him again. Here it is. Ball for three. No good. Rebound by the Bucks. Up they come on the fast break. We don't want them to get anything quick because then they'll have no choice but to foul us. Here is Kuzma. Kuzma outside for Anthony. Anthony off the screen. Giannis with the drive. Gives it to Turner. Wilson bothers him on the layup, and they're going to have to foul. Wilson with clutch defense down the final stretch. And we are just a couple successful free throws away from a 3-0 series lead. What another gutsy performance here tonight for the Hornets. And now they'll get ready to inbound to Jackson Wilson. He comes to get the ball from LaMelo. And Wilson, who missed both of his free throws on his lone trip to the line earlier tonight, he will have an opportunity to potentially put this game out of reach for the Hornets. 12.7 to go. The fans making as much noise as they possibly can, but Wilson clutches up. Another 40-point performance for Jackson Wilson. He looks to make both of these and make this a 5-point game. He gets it done. Despite the shaking screen and the shaking controller, it's game one all over again for Wilson. In the dying moments, he's clutching up. Also, shout out to my teammates for making some big plays in the final minute as well, including LaMelo Ball on that tough layup. 82-77. 12 seconds remaining. All right, we're going to play no 3 defense even on Giannis. Here we go. Prince, quick trigger. No good. Wilson the rebound. And that should do it. There's that little shove by Wilson and Miles Turner. Get off me, Turner. Want to thank everybody once again for tuning in to Ladder of Light Gaming. One more free throw should do it. The Charlotte Hornets can smell a 3-0 advantage over the Milwaukee Bucks. Despite Wilson battling flu-like symptoms, he stood tall and delivered. Wilson's first free throw is perfect. 83-77. Make it 84-77. 9 seconds remaining. That's now 7 consecutive wins to open the NBA playoffs for this resilient Charlotte Hornets squad. What a journey, what a season, and it is one win away from the first Eastern Conference Final in Charlotte history. Unbelievable, but it ain't over until the clock hits triple zeros. We got to finish this. Don't give them anything easy. As a matter of fact, let them take the three. Don't commit any stupid fouls. Wilson's just going to go to the paint. Inbound to Prince. Prince for three. No good. Wilson with the rebound. And Miles Turner gives one last foul. Boy, Miles Turner in these last couple minutes has not been happy. He has been right up in Wilson's grill. But like we did with Giannis, we're trying to get in his head, and it's clear we've done so. Miles Turner is not serving any purpose by fouling right here. That's just frustration. But hey, we'll take the points when we get them. Wilson started 0 for 2 with the stripe, but when it came to wrapping this game up, he's 5 for 5 in the final 15 seconds. 85-77, the clutch play continues. Calm, cool, collected. Shaking screen not affecting us. Giannis outside, Prince one last heave, and that is it. Flu-like symptoms, a hoarse voice on today's broadcast. It still is not enough to stop the Hornets, who may be a team of destiny here in 2026. A 7-0 start to the playoffs and a 3-0 edge in this series.
But you look like you're dealing with something fairly serious. How were you able to pull this one out, MP? Talk to me.
Well, for all the NBA fans out there, makes you think of Michael Jordan back in the 1997 NBA Finals against the Utah Jazz. Series tied 2 games apiece. He's throwing up prior to the game, just like I was. The cutscene's in the last video, so be sure to check that out following game 2. But I made a promise to my team that we would go to war together no matter the circumstances, and they knew I was going through it, and they definitely lifted me up. Shout out to LaMelo Ball for that clutch layup, as well as great defensive rotations down the stretch. Defense has been one of our strong suits this year, and it just keeps being a weapon for us. So, big win for us tonight. Big win. Every game matters.
Yeah, I wanted to set the tone that there's no excuses. So I played down the illness pre-game. But my teammates, man, they knew I was going through it, and they lifted me up.
Some people are calling this your flu game.
I take pride in my ability to overcome adversity, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sorry. There's only one MJ, and I ain't there yet. You know, not yet anyway.
Well, it's time to rest up, MP.
Oh, man, I appreciate that.
Brian, back to you.
Thank you, everybody, once again for all your support here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Be sure to stay tuned if you are currently on here live. Another live stream is coming up here in about 10-15 minutes. We have our next group gameplay. I know it's been a while since we did one of those, but I will be in it along with Jacob Vintage Bates, my broadcast partner. Be sure to check out the content he has posted here on this channel. He has done a nice job. And we will also have many special guests. So like, comment, and subscribe. You're in the right place for entertainment, and you're also in the right place to hear biblical truth, the gospel of Jesus Christ, which is for all of you. No matter who you are or what you've been through, Jesus Christ is calling your name. He wants a relationship with you. He wants to forgive you of your sins. He wants you to die to your old self, give your heart to Him. I'm not talking to like physically rip your heart out and give it to Him, but I mean like accept Jesus into your heart today, get that relationship, invite the Holy Spirit in, and not only watch your life be transformed for the greater good, your testimony here on earth, but let Jesus shine through you. That's what being a Christian is all about, and that's the main message we want to get out of here. Win or lose, we want to bring the best content we possibly can, and most importantly, spread the love of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Thank you to the new viewers just tuning in. You missed the gameplay, but this will be posted after the fact. We just knocked off the Milwaukee Bucks 86-77 on the road, and we are now 3-0 in this series and 7-0 in the playoffs. And just for proof, here are the settings. Hall of Fame, 10-minute quarters, and here are my updated stats for this round. There it is. 49 points a game, 28 rebounds, 5 assists. Not as many as the previous series, but the defense by the Bucks has been a lot better. But you know what we are? We're resilient. We can't fear anybody. We got to keep attacking, doing our thing. If they send double teams, or if they deny us in the paint, we got to beat them in different ways. And shout out to the teammates for being great support for me this entire run so far. I couldn't have done this without them. We're almost halfway to the NBA championship, believe it or not, in my rookie season with a non-super team, the Charlotte Hornets, who had no expectations coming into this campaign. This is why we play the game, ladies and gentlemen, and this makes the run worthwhile. So, with that being said, thanks to everybody once again for tuning in. I invite you to stay locked in for more. And just a reminder that we have our next group gameplay coming up, as well as more from Dispatch, a.k.a. Disc Jack, as we've coined it to be. Got 4 episodes on that. Be sure to check those out. Episode 5 is on the way. That'll probably come tomorrow night because I think tonight's going to be our co-op gameplay. But we're not going to spoil the title for you. You're just going to have to like, comment, subscribe, and tune in for that. So, before we say goodbye, and I apologize for forgetting to do this last time, we're going to check out the playoff ladder, see if anybody advanced. Because the Timberwolves and the Mavericks both had that opportunity.
Okay, so story time. When I was in Europe, I had a rough start to the season. And that's because the adjustment to the pro game was tough for me. I didn't speak the language, and an airline had even lost one of my bags. Now that I think about it, I lost a pair of my favorite Jordans.
Oh, not the J's.
Yeah. Yeah, I was moping around during one of my first practices because of that, and a teammate came up to me and he said, MP, everyone's life is hard. Yours, mine, the people in the stands. Nobody cares about your problems.
Talk about tough love.
True story, yeah. He didn't like me at first either, but he helped me whether he knew it or not.
And how'd he do that?
He snapped me out of it. Out of all my self-pity, it was just gone. You know, I realized that I was dealing with something, but so what? And I had to ask myself, okay, I can try to overcome it, or I can give up. What kind of person do you want to be?
That actually makes sense, I'm not gonna lie.
Right. So, here we are. We've had a few things go against us this series, but so what? Everyone's going through something. And we've got a chance to go to the conference finals if we win one more game. One more.
All right, so how you feeling about your chances?
Bro, I am ready to run through a brick wall for this win. And nothing's gonna slow me down. I promise you that.
When God is for you, who can be against you? No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Everybody stay locked in for Game 4. Coming soon here on Ladder of Light Gaming. Game 3 is in the books. Flu-like symptoms didn't hold us back. We got another victory, our 7th straight in the playoffs on Hall of Fame. Look at the 3-pointers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. My game plan was to switch that defensive matchup and play nothing but paint defense. Let him drive. Let him eat in the paint, because that's the only way he has been able to get points on the board. Giannis came into this game shooting 20% from beyond the arc. And look, just so you guys need proof, here it is, Hall of Fame, 10-minute quarters. We're doing whatever it takes to win. And now we got Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks on the ropes. We're trying to bring home deer meat for Thanksgiving dinner, just coming up in the next couple of days. One more win away from the first conference final in Charlotte Hornets franchise history. Stay tuned for Game 4. This has been another presentation of Ladder of Light Gaming. I'm your host, Action Jackson Wilson, with NBA 2K26. I pray peace that passes beyond understanding and unconditional love that only the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ can provide in his holy and almighty name. Stay tuned for our next group gameplay, which is coming up later tonight. And if you're tuning in after the fact, it should already be up. Like, comment, and subscribe. And enjoy yourselves.